welcome back to IndieFaith episode 6. Shit, episode 6.
I know.
I just clicked.
Crazy.
Wow, we made it past 5.
Yeah. I'm actually quite proud of that.
Yeah. Okay, so you're here with Jules and Mary. So if you're not following us on our Facebook and Instagram, we're IndieFaith podcast on both pages. And recently we put out a post asking for some topic ideas, and we actually got a mad one for this episode.
Yeah.
So shout out to Carly. Thank you so much. And we hopefully do this episode justice.
Yes. Thank you, Carly.
Thank you. So the topic is, when you make decisions, how much does your family influence you? And I thought it was a really good one, because I actually, until I saw the question, I was like, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much does it influence us? Like, I never really, actually sit down and think about that. But yeah, when I heard it, I was like, that's so true. Like, how much do they influence our decisions? And, because we're now adults, we have our own families. Like, is it still happening? And so it was, like, beautiful topic idea. And let's break it down.
About it. Yeah.
So, like, has there ever been a time when, like, as early as you can remember, making a decision before you had family, before you had your own family, where it was influenced by, your family?
I feel like us as Samoan girls, there's a lot expected of us already. So with every decision we make, I did take into my family, like, their influence was a huge, like, thing that made me decide whether I'm going to do something or not. Like, whether it was going to be something that would benefit my family, or is it going to something that's going to hurt the family. So our families play such a huge influence us in our everyday life. Like, in all aspects of our lives. So for me, that's a powerful question, because it's just it's actually true. I didn't realize it either until I saw the question. Because I was like, oh crap.
So like when I was younger, like, probably school, like, there were a lot of sort of decisions that, when you're at that age, you don't really have that mindset to make decisions. And because, in our culture, it's always like, listen to your mom and dad. Like, your mom and dad know, what they're talking about. And so it was like, all I knew back then was, okay, I go to school, finish school, and then I'm supposed to go to uni, and then I'm supposed to have a good job, and I'm supposed to help out family. Like, that's what I was told. So, like, going through school, and then come, like, year 12, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm about to graduate, and then soon it'll be uni. And then find out, didn't make it into uni.
I didn't make it either, so.
And then after that, like, when you finish school, you don't know what you want to do with your life. Like, but then you get told, no, now you're supposed to go look for work. Or, go to, like, do some studying. Or whatever. But you had to do something. But, like, at that age, you've just finished school, where you're sort of told what to do all the time. And then when you finish school, it's like, well, what do I do with my life now? Like, I don't know where to go. I don't even know what career I wanted. I don't know what my passions were. You barely know who you are. And so it was like, it was hard. And so to me, I already felt like, because I didn't get into uni, I already disappointed Dad. Like, that was his dream.
I think it's very hard for us as well, because disappointing our parents is just, it makes a huge deal to us. Because we're just like, it really hurts us. Like, we are actually pretty hard on ourselves already, and then when we don't measure up, it's like, oh, well, then I failed. And
then because I didn't make it into uni, like, to me it was like, I never even wanted to go to uni anyway. Like that wasn't something that I wanted to do, because it was like, well, I didn't even know what kind of topics I would want to study if I made it into uni anyway. I was just clueless. Yeah. And all I knew was Dad wanted me to go to uni, and I was supposed to go to uni. But then I didn't, get a high enough score, so I failed. Yeah. So it was like straight then, it was like, well, I've already started off bad. Yeah. So it's going to be bad. Yeah. But yeah, like, did you have anything like in your earlier days where, you had to make a decision and like you realized it wasn't something that you wanted in the first place? Yeah. It was more like family wanted it? Well,
mum was really she wasn't hard on me or anything, but she really wanted me to get into the travel industry. Oh yeah, because of my awesome personality.
True, actually.
But she always encouraged me because it was what she wanted to do. So she would try and push me to try and pursue that. So I did like studying for it, and then I like trying to get jobs for it. I just was getting rejected all over the show, and I was like, I'm not liking this. Yeah. But I didn't know, because it was like I didn't like the rejection, but I also didn't know if I really wanted it. Yeah. Because I feel like I wanted to make mum proud. Yeah. And that's why I'm doing this. But at the same time, I didn't know if it was even something I wanted to do. Yeah. Because your families, they just want what's best for you. And when they try and encourage you to do something, and because I had no plans of my own, I was thinking, well, I don't have any plans. I might as well just do what my mum's telling me to like try and pursue. Yeah. So again, they do play such a huge influence on us, because again, when we don't know what to do, we're just like, oh, okay, well then maybe they'll have some ideas what we can do.
And it's so true when you say, like it's what, like they want what's best for us. Yeah. But like, because it's like for me with my dad, I know he wanted the best for me, but his best was like, this is the only way. Yeah. That he like work in the office. That was his dream for me. Yeah. And I was like, but a lot of people don't even go to uni and they can go to get an office job. But Dad was like, that's your future. Like, office, didn't know particular what, like kind of, like I didn't know either. I just thought finish school, uni and get an office job. But then I didn't know like there's different kind of office jobs. Yeah. Like I didn't know, the different sort of industries. I didn't know like different, sectors in each company. I had no idea. Yeah. Like to me, it was like, this is what Dad wanted. But then when it came to reality and, I'm supposed to like fulfill this dream of his. Yeah. And it's like, well, now like, but how? Like, yeah. You miss out on the details. And so it's like, but you said I was supposed to, I'm supposed to get an office job. Yeah. How?
Yeah. I think that's another thing, because our parents, some of them haven't even finished school, or some of them haven't even gone to uni, but that's the plan they want for us. Yeah. But they don't even know how to get there. Yeah. So for us, it's like the blind leading the blind sometimes, because they do want what's best for us, but no one knows how to get it. Yeah.
And it's like that with a lot of things. Like you know that's where you want to get to, but then it's the finer details, like the how to get there. And then because you don't know how to get there, then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to look for something else then. Yeah. And then something else, and then but that was like I didn't know what I wanted for myself. I didn't think that far ahead. Mom and Dad did it for me. Yeah. And then it was like, but I don't know. I feel like I'm failing because I've now finished school. I don't know what to do with my life. I didn't even know how to get an office job. Yeah. I didn't know, resumes, interviews. I didn't know that was a process until, after I went.
Yeah. And we had to like figure it out on our own.
Yeah.
Which I think it made us pretty strong like after. Yeah. But at the time we're feeling all sorts of lost. Yeah.
But it's like every like the decisions that we try to make by finding a job or studying, and that it's always like, but office, look for something in the office, or why don't you study this? And it's like, but like I'm not into that. Like, what if I'm happy working, like at the time I was when I finished school, I was working as a bartender, but Dad really wanted me to work in the office, so I was getting probably double what I got when I was working as a bartender. I can't remember how much I was getting, about $800 a week back then.
Yeah.
And then when I went to, I quit that job and went and worked as an office junior. And even though it's in the office, I was getting $400 a week.
No.
Yeah. So I was like, why, Dad?
Yeah.
But the money.
Yeah.
And Dad goes, Lelei, it doesn't matter. You work your way up.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, but where? Where to? Like, where do you go in the office?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was just like Dad already had this idea of where he wanted me. Like, he didn't care. He didn't understand, like, what level I needed to get to in the office. He just knew you get a good role in the office.
Yeah. And then you'll gradually get to something better. And
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, but Dad, I can't go from office junior to CEO.
To the owner of the whole, like, company. That makes sense, though.
Mm. But, like, have you, what about when you started dating?
We're like grown adults and you're still like...
Oh, wait. What about SEX?
That'll be another topic for another day. But yeah, I feel like our families, again, they play such a huge like role in our decision making. So the type of guy I wanted to be with, at the time when you're young, you don't even think, you're attracted to someone.
Yeah.
And you don't really think of with anything else, but obviously your hormones are flowing and
yeah,
you know, like young love, and so you don't think of those things at the time until your parents find out. Yeah. And with Samoans, I feel our parents were very strict at the time, because as young teenagers, that's not something that they're even interested in. Yeah, you just boyfriend. Yeah, what boyfriend? Read the Bible. Go clean your room. Yeah. And I used to be like, how can they just be so dismissive? Yeah. But now that I'm a parent, I'm dreading the day Brooklyn comes to me and I have to deal with that. Yeah. Relationships and stuff like that. So when it came to relationships, I feel like we hit it. Okay, I hit it for a little while because it's just not something you're comfortable with. Yeah. And again, because your family plays such a huge role in your life, you don't want to disappoint them. Yeah. And if you rock up with a guy who's just not the kind of guy that your mum or dad wants you to be with, but you love them, you don't know what to do. Yeah. So you prefer to just keep it secret until either break up with the guy or you just end up eventually introducing them to your parents. Yeah. So,
Mom said that she was terrified because she honestly thought that if I was to bring a boy home, this guy was gonna be like some sort of bikie with tattoos and piercings. Like,
could you imagine? I'd be like,
I know. I was like, what do you think of me? Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know why Dad didn't want me to date Samoans, but that was I just remember that was one thing that he was like, scared of. He didn't stop me, but he just said it would be nice, if you find a lawyer or a doctor
or a rich man,
and then it's not all about the looks. I was like, oh, it's just about the career. Yeah. But yeah, but I think Mom and Dad didn't have much of a say, or when I met Rob, they didn't really have much of a say with who I dated. But it was just the way that I went about dating Rob that they didn't like.
Oh, okay.
So it's like Dad was never happy. He was never happy with me sleeping over.
Okay.
Rob's house.
Yeah.
Even though I knew how to look after myself and I knew how to be safe, like safe. And it wasn't like I had enough of their teachings to know, what I needed, like the right thing to do. And I also knew that this was a good guy. So like I knew he wouldn't hurt me or anything, but just Dad was like, that's not right. You're not like me and Dad had a massive fallout, but he didn't like that I was sleeping over. Yeah. And also like if Rob was to sleep over, he wouldn't like that either. Like he wouldn't like, like door closed and everything. But I think because of how our relationship was, I wasn't listening anyway. Okay. So, like I felt bad. I really gave him a lot of grey hairs.
That's what we do as kids though.
But to be fair, I was 22, 23.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I think with our parents, it doesn't matter how old you are. Yeah. You just, you'll always be their kid. And I think sometimes it was just a little bit hard for him to let go because you're his eldest and you're his eldest girl, and it was just hard to loosen the reins. But I remember those times.
I know. And you know what? Also, like, I think it was unfair for me because it's like he didn't trust me. Okay. It was like he didn't trust in his own sort of teachings that he sort of gave to me, like growing up, that he thought I would just make bad decisions. Yeah. And it's like, no, like to be like the person that I'm with has been the only person I've ever been with. Yeah. Like, my partner now is my partner that he's the only one. Yeah. And I was like, you should be proud of that. Yeah. But yeah, he loves Rob now. But yeah.
That's not. I think because I love that you say that, but I think that was another reason because before I had gotten with Jordan, I had actually just gotten out of a very not so great relationship. Yeah. So Mum was actually quite good where she would she loosened the reins, but then when I found someone who wasn't good, that's when she was like, well, she wasn't like I told you so or anything. Yeah. She was more like, well, give that a rest for a bit then. Yeah. But because I'm the way I am, I had gotten with Jordan not long after, and I know you guys don't believe us, but we were just friends. We were just friends first.
No, I believed you. Yeah. But I was just happy that you were done with the other one. Yeah. Because, like, as your family, when you brought that guy into the picture, like, what the why?
It was not, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Yeah, my whole family, my brothers were just like, yeah. My sisters were and our family again are very honest and they're very open. So they would say things, and because I'd be like really defensive. Yeah. I'd be like, you don't know.
Yeah, because you used to get defensive with me as well. Yeah. And when I, because I expressed my opinions.
I think because I copped it from everyone, I was like, I don't want to hear it. And the relationship we have where we're so tight that even I didn't want to hear it from you, that it just goes to show I was copying it bad, man. I copped it so bad, and I see now obviously it was out of love, and just concern
and English. Yeah. Nah, because like when I saw him, I don't know, like for me it's a first impression, like you get a gut instinct with somebody, and then you brought this guy, I was like, why? Like, where'd you find this guy? And I was like, oh, she just wants to like piss, she just wants to piss her mom off. That's what I thought. Because I was like, that is not even like, because I've known you for how long? I was like, that was no way ticking any of your boxes. It's like,
I hope they never watch this. I hope they're not watching. I swear to God. I was like,
I know, he already knows how. I don't care if you're watching. I already sent you a message.
It's all coming out, man. All this exposure.
But then, like, not long, because before, you were telling me about your friend Jordan.
Yeah.
At the time, and I was like, "What the hell, man?" Yeah. That's the guy.
But see, I didn't think of it like that because again, as soon as it ended, and it ended very badly.
Yeah.
I think we'll talk about it in another episode because I have a lot to say. But we'll just stick to topic for today. But yeah, after I had ended that relationship, Mum was straight done. She was like, give it a rest, give that a miss for a bit, maybe wait a year or two.
Yeah, true.
And then you can maybe revisit that.
Yeah.
That part of your life. But because I was just so... But I didn't plan on getting with Jordan. So after that, I started hanging out with a different crowd and made new friends and got my head straight again. It just happened. So that Mum was actually like, oh no. Looking back, Mum wasn't very happy that I had gotten into another relationship. Yeah. So that's why her influence, it meant a great deal to me because she had already been so lenient in letting me start dating that when it didn't go so well, she was straight like, nah. Yeah. Yeah. You had your chance. I'm telling you now to give it a rest. Yeah. Just have a break. Just
enjoy your life.
Yeah. It was just
erase that out of your head.
I'm straight savage, man. That my family will not. I don't know if you can tell that they weren't so happy about that arrangement.
I'm not even the bad one.
This is the nice version.
Yeah, I have other family members.
Yeah, I have aunties. I have cousins, her brothers, my brothers. So Mum was straight like, like no more. Wait till you get a bit older. Yeah. You still got a long life ahead of you. Just give it a little bit of time. Yeah. And I didn't listen. So
of course.
Yeah. Yeah. So I ended up getting with, and at the beginning, Mum was really hard because of the previous relationship definitely played a huge role in how Mum was with my next one. Yeah. Because she was so angry and hurt. And I'm her daughter. Like, I'm her eldest daughter, and what she saw me go through, she was not in the mood to see a repeat of it. Yeah. And that's all she was basing it on. Yeah. And as looking back, I'm like, she had every right to be the way that she was because out of love for me.
She's been protective.
Yeah. Yeah. So she saw the very terrible experience I had and then jumped straight into another one. It was just like, well, what do you think this is?
Yeah. And to be honest, like, you also changed when you were with that person. Yeah. And like, not only did we not like that person, but we also didn't like the person that you were becoming. Yeah. So it was like, we were very like distant then.
We were. I feel so bad now.
No. But like, also, like, you know, with family, they will like cut through all that bullshit and just be straight up. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter but that's just how you show love for that person. Because we didn't hold back on our insults.
They did not, and I think that's what fueled me more. I was like, I will prove to you guys that you are all wrong, even though deep inside I knew where you were coming from and you guys meant well and you guys were right. I didn't want to give them the satisfaction of being right. And it was just my own stubbornness. I was like, nah, you just don't know anything. You just don't know how it is. Like,
yeah. But to be honest, did you, when you got with that guy, was it out of spite? Like, you just wanted to, you know, sort of show your family, or was it like you actually genuinely cared for that person? I just want to know if
I'm
there
so
was
in the hot seat right now, and it's really hot now. I'm just like,
Okay, I'll ask you another one.
No, I'll answer. I think during my teen years, I went through a really bad phase. Yeah. My family know it. My mum knows it. Yeah, my poor mum. Love you, man. So I went through a really rebellious phase, and I'm dreading that day when I go through that with my own daughter. But looking back, I'm just like, fuck. So I think half of it was like rebelling. It was just like, well, like Dala's got a, like my brother had a girlfriend, so I'm just like, you know what, I might just start dating too. And at the time as well, I was friends with this person, but they were, I think I just let them cloud my judgment.
Yeah. Because you didn't even, like, because I know you so well, I knew you didn't even like the guy. So, like, I knew that everything that, you know, you were displaying, I'm like, no, I could tell you're like, you don't even like him. What makes you think we will like him?
And then I think that's what made you guys more mad, because he's like, why are you getting so mad at us when you don't even like the guy? And I'm like, yes, I do. I really do.
He's like, why are you so mean to him?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you don't even want to hold his hand, mate.
No, my siblings were ruthless. Like, we will talk about this again, but they were straight ruthless.
But, like, that's, like, when it comes to dating, like, oh, man, your family, like, it has a lot that they feel they need to say in that. And I'll be straight up, like, from the first time Jordan came in, I was like, that's the one.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that guy. It's already a pass.
But it was a total, just switched. It just switched from, like, I used to go over to family functions and different things, and I'd feel all this, like, negative energy and comments and, like roasting for days, and just, I feel like they were trying to out-roast who had the better roast.
Oh, yeah. Because there was one time you actually, like, got really upset.
Yeah.
Because everybody was like, I don't know, we were like going into this roasting phase. We were mocking him. Actually, he wasn't there, but you were there. And it was like, who had the better insult?
Yeah, who could outdo the other one with the insults? And I'm pretty sure one of the boys won.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're just masters at it.
Yeah.
But again, yeah. So my family do play a huge role in how I make my decisions. And at that time, when you're young and you're not very confident within yourself, and you're just trying to get some sort of attention, whatever way that may be, I did that. And so when I jumped straight from that to another one, my mum was the hardest one to accept it. And looking back, it was not her fault, because that's what any normal mum would do. Yeah. But the way I went about it was not good, because I was being secretive, I was sneaking around, I was running away. So those sorts of things played a role in how I was with Jordan. Yeah. And I felt sorry for him, because he did not like that. Yeah. He didn't want to be like that. And his family didn't like that either, because they thought, I think for them, they wanted him to be with someone who's not like that. Yeah. They want both families to get to know each other. Yeah. Suss each other out. Where's this going? What are the intentions with each other? Like, is this going anywhere? Yeah. So I put him in a really bad position. I think because it only made me more determined to prove to everyone that, no, I'm not repeating the same thing. Yeah. It's just, I get the timing of it is bad, but I'm not making the same decision, like same choices and bad mistakes that I did last time. Yeah. And unlike that last one, what I loved about you and Jordan was you guys were friends before. We were. Yeah. And you used to tell me about him when you were friends. Yeah. And I was like, when are you gonna do? Yeah. It's like, you should be with that guy. Oh, we're just friends. Yeah. And I'm like, what? He's a good guy. Yeah. So and it's not just dating as well, it's also when you're in the relationship, how much of those kind of decisions between you and your partner is then influenced by family. Yeah. Because it's like, no matter how much I try, it's just a me and Rob decision. Yeah. It's still influenced by everyone, my family.
particularly my family.
Yeah, because we always take them into consideration with everything.
Yeah.
So if I do something, can my family also do it with me?
Yeah.
Again, is it going to benefit them as well? What can we do to make it sort of easier for them?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of like something me and Rob had to make a decision for. I can't think of anything right now.
I think because there's so many things that we make decisions with our own partners now, but we still take into consideration like our family.
Yeah.
And our family is always going to play such a huge role because my in-laws, I think they got used to that as well. They're so, like my in-laws, I'm not trying to brag, but they're pretty great in-laws.
Yeah.
And they've accepted me into their family, but they've also like accepted my siblings and my family kind of thing. Like they look out for not just me, but for them as well.
True.
Because they want what's best for everyone.
Yeah.
And just like our own families want us, like our mums want that for us, and our parents want that for us, and that's all we want. So I think, what was the point of my
like this is like making a decision that, you know, between you and Jordan, or
yeah. Sorry, guys.
It must be really hot in here.
I think so. I think I wasn't expecting the questions that were thrown at me this evening.
Sorry,
so,
yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
I think, well, even as parents now, like my parents, or my mum, she influences me with my own kid, like how we were brought up and how, and Jordan as well, how he was raised and how I was raised. We try and put both, like all of the good things we learned, we try and instill that into our own kid.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. Ha! I swear, it's just rubbing off on me. There was this time when I think me and Rob had been together 5 years or 4 years, and like we wanted to move out. We wanted to move out and move in together, because we like eventually we wanted to sort of like, you know, get engaged and then get married and then have kids, you know what I mean? But it was like, because it was just hard to have a relationship and then, or take your relationship to the next stage when you're living with family. And it's like, not just family, it's like the whole family. Yeah. Like we have, like I have 7 siblings.
Yeah.
And we're all under this one house in 3 bedrooms with 3 bedrooms. So it's like, it's hard to sort of like, take your relationship to the next stage when, you know, you have like, you're in the house with a whole bunch of people. Yeah. So we were like, we need it. Like we wanted our own space and that. And yeah, straight away when I mentioned it, like I'm really happy. Like I was blessed that Dad actually eventually gave us his blessing. Yeah. But before he said, I prefer you to get married first. Yeah. And then you know, and then move in. Yeah. But I was like, but I want to see what it's like to live with this guy before I marry him. Because if it doesn't work out, I could just break up and I have to do a divorce. Yeah. Damn. But like, it was just different, like different mentality. I wanted to sort of see what it's like to actually live with Rob, like just me and him. Yeah. And also like, you know, like I wanted to see if we were going to do other things like travel and whatever, you know, just us two without having to like, you know, sort of join the table with a whole bunch of people when we have dinner or like we want to have like a nice dinner, but then we think about everybody else and it's like, oh, it's not fair. Like I used to do that a lot. Like I would want to say, go to a restaurant, but then I look at my siblings and they're having like pies for dinner, or Lisa. And I'm like, I feel bad. Yeah. But yeah, like I remember I was grateful that Dad gave me his blessing, but at the same time, it came with like, I want you to
I
get
prefer.
married get married first and then move out. Like, yeah, I get it, Dad. Has there been like one big decision that you can recall where like it was ended up being influenced by family that actually made you change your decision?
That's a good question. I'm just like,
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you, so I can think.
I don't want to say. I don't think there has been a time where I've had to change my mind. There have been times where my family have influenced us in a way where it's caused, like, admittedly, fights between Jordan and I.
Yeah.
Not that they mean to, like, things happen.
Yeah.
So it does play a huge role with us when I make decisions, because we're not used to disappointing our families. Well, what we think is disappointing our families isn't really us disappointing them.
Yeah.
But it feels that way to us.
Yeah.
And sometimes with Jordan, like with my own partner, it's hard for him to grasp, because the dynamic's completely different for his own family.
Yeah.
So it's hard to try and balance as a couple, because raising our own daughter, there's a lot of stuff that he has caught me out on. He'll be like, you don't want that for your kid, do you? You've even told me.
Yeah.
So and I don't like it, because it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, you can't say that. And then he has a point.
Yeah.
But he's never been to the type to be disrespectful about it.
Yeah.
He's just being honest about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's my problem is I can't hack it sometimes.
Yeah. It's like the truth hurts.
Yeah, it really does. Because for me, I'm like, I've chosen you.
Yeah.
And I think in my mind, I'm thinking I left my family for you.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it for him. I did it obviously for myself and, for my future and for my kid. But I think that's the sort of thing that goes through my head sometimes, which is a bad sort of mentality to have, because our families, they love him and he loves them as well. Yeah. But there's certain situations where he doesn't agree.
Yes. Yep.
And then it causes things between us.
Yeah.
And I think my problem as well is I will drop everything for my family.
Yeah.
Which is good, but then it's not good when you're dropping it and the people you're actually dropping is the family you've made.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the hardest things we go through as Samoan girls, as Polynesian girls. I don't know if it's everyone else, but for me, letting go of the family I came from to make things more beneficial for my own family, it's still hard to balance now. Yeah. Because my family will always play like they will always have some sort of influence in my decisions. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I 100% understand as well. Like I'm the same with, Rob, like there's a few things that he disagrees as well. But it's not like, to me, I wouldn't say it's so much family that influences my decision. It's me. Yeah. Like it's just me because out of guilt. Yeah. Like I feel like, but I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest, or like it's my duty. Yeah. Because like there's a lot of times where it's like, but it's not your duty. Yeah. It's not your duty to look after these kids, or think about us, first. Yeah. And mom and dad actually tell me, like, you always put your family first. Yeah. They're number one. Before, so like, I'm blessed that mom and dad are, they think about him first. Yeah. But it's me. Like I just automatically make, like, before I even think about me, like my little family, I always think about, how can I sort of bring my family into it, and we, uplift all of us together. Yeah. Because I felt like if I was going to do something that benefited us, like I also want my family to be benefited from it too. Yeah. So I was like, how's a way, like, what is there any way that I could sort of like link it to my family? Yeah.
Because you feel like if you succeed, they all succeed too.
Yeah. And it's not so much like my family, it's me. It's 100% me. Like, and Rob knows that. Yeah. Like he's like, you got to stop thinking, so much for your family. He's like, and he'll even tell me straight up, he goes, they probably don't even want what you want. And you're just assuming that for them.
Yeah.
He's like, you let them make their own decisions.
Okay. Yeah.
Rather than you sort of like just assuming that that's what they want.
That's really eye-opening for me. I'm just like, oh crap.
Yeah, like
that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
It's like, you know, recently I've changed so much. Like now, like, you know, prioritize myself, Rob, you know, my own little family before anyone else.
Yeah.
And like obviously I still have love, respect for my family and my siblings, you know, like that will never go away.
Yeah.
But I know like this is where, you know, this is my own little family that you know, I have to sort of put as my number one.
Yeah.
Everybody else will come second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a long time.
To be honest, it's taking me ages as well. It's sometimes I'll fall back into my old habits, and then Jordan will remind me of what I need to prioritize. Yeah. But he was like, yeah, if you can, you can. Like, that's all good. But if you can't, then you know the decision you need to make. Yeah.
And Rob can't stand when, like, you know, I do that to myself, but then I complain.
Yeah.
I'll be like, why do I always have to do it?
Yeah.
And he's like, why did you agree to do it then?
Or it's one of those, no one even asked you though.
You just did that yourself.
Yeah, you jumped in and, you know, you volunteered and this is it.
So then after that, Rob's like, you know, don't like, you know, like the next time will happen, I'll do the same thing again. Yeah. And he's like, well, I don't want to hear it. Yeah. Like, I don't want to hear you complaining. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. And then of course, you know, when you get stressed out, I'm like, man. Yeah. But yeah, like it's not until like recently, I don't let my family influence any of my decisions, as much. Yeah. Like, I think I still do. Yeah. But most, because like, you know, Rob, you know, will actually be straight up with me. Like, he'll be honest just like Jordan, he'll be like straight up and honest with me, and he loves my family just as much as I do. Yeah. But there are times when he'll be like, you know, like think about it logically before you know, run with your heart. Yeah. Because in the end you might get hurt. Yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah. But yeah, so like all those eye-opening moments now, it's like I don't get that influenced as much.
I'm learning to. It's taken a while. Yeah. Because we've been out with our partners like 10 years over, like 10 years or plus, and it took a long time for us. Well, for me, it took me ages. It sometimes still takes me a while to like get out of that sort of mindset. Yeah. Until I get a reminder. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, I will go there. But here we go.
I think the biggest thing, and I don't think us two in particular probably are that experienced in it, but I know a lot of Polynesians out there are, but money is a humongous factor in how family influences decisions. Yeah. And it's always to do with money. Yeah. Like always.
It is.
Yeah. And it like, I don't know.
I think you're right, because we've experienced some levels of it. Yeah. But not extreme circumstances where it's just like, where it's like caused massive, I don't know, it's impacted a relationship. Yeah. So I understand that, because I have heard of families where it's, especially polys who get with people who, because we already talked about this in our other podcast, but it's true. Money is one of the hugest things that does influence our decisions. Yeah. Polly's decisions. Yeah. Because they have to take that into consideration and somehow make it work.
Yeah. It's like that episode with I didn't even know what the show was called. I just know Asuelu.
I think it's 90 Day Fiancé.
Oh, okay. Because that's the only part like I always watch. Yeah. It's just like the snippets. But there's that one where his his mom asks for $1,000.
And he's trying to ask his missus for it. Like he's trying to ask Kalani. Like
and she's just like for me, I understood, like, and I can tell that some people will look at, his wife as like a total bitch. Like, you just have to do it. Yeah. But how she like reacts in that video that's exactly how I would react.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but why?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to give them $1,000 when you have kids that you need to feed?
Yeah.
And you don't even work.
Yeah.
like
you're on part-time. Yeah.
It's like, where's the money? Yeah. Where is the money going to drop from?
Yeah. And then when he says, God will find a way.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But the reason why, like, that, like, I love that episode is because, like, it's so true.
It happens.
It's so true.
Regardless of whether people think it was scripted.
Yeah.
It's actually something that's quite common.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's sad because I see a lot of the younger generation, and they have to fork out so much money, you know, for their parents, and they can't question it.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to question where that money's going.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I tell you, this is the amount I want, and you give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine that, imagine living in a life where like, just give me money.
Yeah.
Why? No, just give me money.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be rich.
Yeah.
But they're not rich.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
It is. It's actually it's one of those topics that no one wants to talk about.
Yeah.
And again, there are families who handle it quite well, and some of them are quite fair as well. And there's other families who are extreme, but they just do it, and it just works for them.
Yeah.
And that's all good as well. We're not hating on it or anything, but it is. It's something that's so huge within our sort of community and families.
Yeah, and like the other thing I find that is so unfair and is when the kids are expected to work for the parents.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, you know, apologies if I've offended you, but to me, I don't think that's fair at all.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's not a life where you live to a certain age and then you expect your kids to pay you back for all that you've, you know, raised.
Yeah.
You know, all that money that you've spent on feeding them and all that. It's like, but you brought us into this world. like
a lot of people will disagree. They'll be like, but we do owe them. And I'm not denying that. Like, for me, the upbringing you have with your parents, there's nothing we could ever do to repay them.
There's nothing.
And we're not ungrateful or anything. But it's one of those like really like uncomfortable things where no one wants to talk about. But it's true because you don't. For me, in Australia, that they're not brought up that way.
Yeah.
If anything, especially Palangis, they raise their kids so that they've educated them and they've prepared them for what they need to do when they do become an adult.
Yeah.
And so they help them, you know, with their work ethic, with money, and then how to build, like, you know, buy a house and things like that. So they give them those sorts of guidance. Yeah. And I'm not saying our poly families that do that. I know a lot of poly families who do that as well. Yeah. But I think for those who don't have that sort of education, it's straight, like, it's just that sort of way of living. It's because I've given birth to you. Now that I've come to a certain age where I can retire
at 50
or younger,
or 45. It's not even their age; it's the age that your kid is. As soon as they finish school, that's what you have to do. Yeah, like go to work and then, you know, give me most of your pay, and then we'll give you what you need to live on. Yeah,
but again, some families it works for them, some it doesn't. But I understand the pressure and the stress it can have on a kid, and sometimes it's not always the way things should go. Yeah. Like, it's not the way everything has to be sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. Like, I'll actually be really blunt here, but Samoans feel like this is the way it should be, where, you know, the kids have jobs. Why should the parents work? You know, you go work for me. Like, you know, you go work and now you look after me. get it, okay. If that's the way you want to live, okay. But why complain that Balangis have it so easy or Balangis have a better life? It's like you got to look at, well, what are the Balangis doing that are making them successful? Why are Balangis rich? Like, you know, you got to look at that. Like, obviously, their way is working. Yeah. Your way is not working. Yeah. Your way is not getting you rich. Like, that's what I don't understand. And I think a lot of people sort of just, because there's that dominance, you know, with the parents, and it's like, no, you have to. Like, this is how it is, and that's the law. And I was like, well, okay, but then what happens when, you know, like, sorry, but if they pass on, you know, the parents, so these people are now in their 40s, and now they get to live their life. It's unfair. Yeah. Because it's like, okay, well, now, you know, now they get to enjoy life, and they're in their like 40s, 50s, or even older. Yeah.
But then you have the instances where, I want to be a bit blunt too, but there are instances where they're like, no, you've gotten to a certain age where you work for me now. Yeah. Okay. But then you also look at it like, but what about your own parents? True. Like, but it's like, how does that work then? Yeah. And then it makes you question everything. Yeah. And as children, we're too scared to say anything, because when you say something that's not on like the same like wavelength as them, you're automatically looked at as you're wrong. Yeah.
And I think that's why our generation, or in particular us that are in the middle, we're not like, you know, fully Western culture or fully Samoan culture. We're like in the middle. Yeah. I think that's why we're looked at in such a negative way, because we're the ones we're the generation that are actually questioning things. Yeah. We're actually like, okay, this is how it's always been. Like, but why? Yeah. That's how it's always been. But why? Yeah. And they don't like that. Yeah. And it's because they don't even have the answers to that. Like, why, you know, that is the way it is. And it's like, you guys say you want the best for your children, but this isn't making their life easy. Like, you know, like for me, and I'm only saying this because I'm lucky that my parents, you know, sort of found a different way. Like because at first that's how it was. Yeah. That was their mentality. But then afterwards, it was almost like they sort of started to realize like, oh, but that's not in this country. Yeah. In Australia, that way is not going to work. Yeah. They won't get successful that way. And so like, yeah, Dad was a bit more lenient. And so like, we never, like Dad was more like, you know, find something that will make you, you know, that you're passionate about and pursue it. Try and get a career in it, you know, like, I'll support you, blah, blah. We still paid board, but it wasn't like Dad sort of took the bulk of our pay and only gave us a little bit. It was like, you give us enough so we can balance out the house. And then whatever money you have left, that's yours. Yeah. Like go and like it was for him, it was like, I'd rather you use that money and pursue your dreams. And then like, you know, sort of like, but I'll like use the percentage you gave me to you know help out with the house. Yeah. So it was like, you know, after that it was like it gave me a lot more freedom to sort of do things like this. Yeah. Like podcasts or whatever else we're doing now. Yeah. But it like, you know, but same with my brothers. They got to do film school. Yeah. Something that's like, you know, it's pretty rare in our culture. Yeah. But yeah. Like, I think when they stick to that sort of mentality, that you already know there's nothing that like it doesn't help them. Yeah. So why stick to it?
Just something to think about, because I know we're probably going to get a lot of feedback about this, and it's just we're not hating on it or anything. It's not how we are. We're just talking about topics that aren't always the most comfortable topics to talk about. Yeah. And that's just the facts.
It's just when And I know the people, like, I know that a lot of you feel it as well. And I know, like, you know, I respect my parents as well. I'm not saying that, you know, because I don't do it that way or give a bulk of my pay to my parents that I don't love them any less. Like, there's other ways that I have given to my parents, but it was more at that time. It's out of love that I give extra to my parents, or like I'll do other things as well for my parents. That, like, you know, I think I've done a lot to, you know, make them proud of me. So, like, and it's not just money. It's not just money. Yeah. But the main thing that they want is, like, for us to sort of, you know, be, do something that we love and be good at it. That's it. They just want, like, I think because they're looking at their lives and it's like, that's it. You know, work, come home, and that's it for them. Yeah. There's no, like, they're not living their dreams. Yeah. Or, you know, like, they didn't have passion for anything. So they're more like, they'd rather us get to that age and we're still doing something that we love.
That's
like,
fair.
Yeah.
No, I'm just like,
I just had to get that off my chest.
Yeah. Well, it's again, it's something that's not the most comfortable thing to talk about, but it's something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. That's just like, we're not saying to defy your parents. Yeah. We're just saying that there are times when you can sit back and actually just, you know, question it. And for the parents, question whether it's the success you want for your kids. Is it really, like, do you want the best for them? And is there anything that you're doing that's sort of stopping them from doing that? And that, like, just think about it. That's all. Like, you know, I think we sometimes forget when we're in a routine, we don't think about that. Yeah. We forget.
You really get complacent.
Yeah. Because it's like, same with, like, you know, sometimes when, you know, my partner sort of questioned me, why do you do that? I don't know, actually. Yeah. I don't know.
But you're good. You think, I get straight to defense.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the way it is.
Yeah. Sometimes I do that too. But I think that's, like, it helps to, like, with my partner, because, you know, how he doesn't understand. Yeah. It helps that he questions things, so then I question it too. So that's probably where it comes from, but yeah.
But it's amazing now because now our actual partners have an influence on our decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. But nothing's changed. We love our parents just as much, you know, as if, like, you know, we were to give them more. Yeah. I think we love them more. Yeah. Than, you know, holding that resentment that your parents are taking a bulk of your pay.
Yeah, because some kids will express that. I've had so many, like, instances where people will talk to me about it, and it's just something they're not happy with. Yeah, and they're miserable. Yeah, and some run away. Some have sadly taken other sorts of. They've done other things.
Committed suicide.
Yeah, and it's just, is it really worth it then?
Yeah,
like, is it really worth that sort of cycle?
Yeah. And I've seen so many of them get into relationships and start a family because that's their out. Yeah. Because they know if they get married, that's freedom. Yeah. Like, their parents will let them go. Yeah, I have a few friends that
have done that. Yeah.
And it's like, and it didn't matter. Like, some of the, like, they could be 15, 16, but to them it was like, I just need to get away. Yeah. Like, and so they'll, you know, fall pregnant. Or get someone pregnant. Yeah.
And we're not saying that's you know, if with all families, again, we're just saying in some instances where it just doesn't work. Yeah. Like, kids seek out other sorts of things to do.
Yeah. But, like, I think the reason why, like, I had to bring it up and also be blunt about it is because, like, I've spoken to so many people and not one of them are happy with that situation. Yeah. Like, I'm talking to the kids, not the parents. Yeah. There's obviously, like, you know, that's like another level that I don't sort of know or can communicate to. But the younger ones, I haven't seen anyone happy with that situation, regardless if they were born here or in the islands. Yeah. But, I mean, if you are out there, like, props to you. Yeah. But I know so many that are not happy with it at all. And and it spirals. It sometimes can lead to dangerous situations.
That's why we had to bring it up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was
intense in the end.
I know, right?
But I think it was quite good.
Yeah. I think we tackled a few, like, there were, like, some of them I didn't even realize, like, it actually influenced my decision until we actually talked about it.
There's probably a lot more that we could, because it's so broad. So there's probably a lot more we could cover, but I think we've covered the certain topics.
Yeah. All right. Well,
on that high note,
we'll end it at that, and stay tuned for our next episode. Take care and love and blessings.